Hi everyone, I'm sure you've all heard the exciting news that we've got everyone home with us till March now. But don't worry, silver lining, it means you've got an amazing team of helpers to get you ready for Pesach. They're all going to be doing all the Pesach cleaning for you, so all hands on deck. Don't worry. Talking about Pesach, let's look at Parashas Beshalach, which is of course the story that we're all familiar with from Seder night. So if you remember last week we left off with a lot of drama. We finished all the 10 makkos. We climaxed with the killing of the firstborns whilst we were all eating our Korban Pesach. And then we packed up in a massive hurry, didn't even have time for the bread to rise, got going with our matzah. In fact, they didn't even take provisions with them on the way, which I found shocking. That's mentioned in the Pesukim, and I think that is the reason that until today, every Pesach, your children will say to you, there's nothing to eat. It's only matzah, because they are echoing what was said all those thousands of years ago. They only had matzah. They had no snacks. They had no bisli. They had no bamba. They had nothing, just matzah. So they were in such a hurry. They were running off. They were so excited that this was it. The slavery was over. It'd been a couple of 100 years of slave mentality, forced labor. They're running and running. And suddenly they notice that the Egyptians are chasing them. So they told them that they could go and they went straight away, but suddenly they're chasing them. And they have this big drama. They get to the sea and the sea is in front of them and the Egyptians are behind them. What are they going to do? All very scary. And suddenly, just at the right moment, they step in and the sea splits. Imagine you're standing on the beach in Dover with the white cliffs behind you. You step into the water and suddenly it all just splits open and you've got a clear run of sand all the way to Calais. I mean, it's like quite a mind-blowing, unbelievable miracle. Like just at that very moment when they needed it, they had nowhere else to go. They had an army behind them. They were exhausted. They'd stayed up all night for Seder night. You know what you feel like the night after Seder night. They had a bit of a dodgy stomach from all that matzah. And they're standing there thinking, oh, I really can't be bothered fighting the Egyptians. And suddenly, lo and behold, the sea splits for them. And it's a miracle. And even Moshe, who normally seems like quite a reserved kind of guy, he can't hold it in anymore. He is so full of joy and excitement that he just bursts forth in song. And he sings Oz Yashir, which we're familiar with from davening. We say it every day, or some people do, not everyone. And he is so excited about everything that's happened and he can't stop praising Hashem. He says, Hashem, it was amazing. You know, you killed the horses, you killed the riders, all the chariots, everyone got drowned. And not only that, you saved us. And it was amazing. The water, it just stood up in a straight wall. How did you do that? Unbelievable. The whole world heard about it. And he goes on and on and on about what an amazing miracle it was. And then, not to be outdone, Miriam also bursts forth in song. And she says to Moshe, I've seen your song. I raise you. I've got tambourines with me. So her and the women, they all get out their tambourines and they have a song and a dance. And it's a very different kind of song. It's a one-liner. All she says is that Hashem basically destroyed the Egyptians. There's no mention of this whole miracle of the water standing up and the sea splitting and how that saved them all. So why is it that the experience of the women at the sea was a very different kind of experience to the men at the sea? They're both there, same event, but it seems like from their reaction that they experienced it quite differently. Now, I'm going to refer you to a cheeky Gemara in Maseches Megillah, where it's talking about women's obligations. And it's talking about all these festivals. We have Hanukkah, we have Purim, we have Pesach. What is a woman's obligation? Do women have to hear Megillah? Do women have to light Hanukkah candles? What is a woman's obligation? And they conclude that actually women do also have an obligation to hear Megillah on Purim because they were also included in the nace. What do you mean they were also included in the nace? They were the nace. Yehudis saved everyone on Hanukkah. Esther saved everyone on Purim. And we're told in the Pesach story that the reason we were redeemed from Mitzrayim was bizachus noshim sitkanyos nagalu b'nei Israel mitzrayim. That in the zachus and the merit of righteous women, the Jewish people were redeemed. If not for the women, we wouldn't have been redeemed at all. So what do you mean we were also included in the nace? It sounds very like it's putting us as second-class citizens. But actually, what it's saying is completely the opposite. What it's saying is We also include ourselves and we celebrate, but for us, for the women, it was not miraculous. That is not how we observed it. That's not how we experienced it. How is that possible? Well, way back when Hashem created the world, it wasn't just that when these big events happened to the Jewish people, he had to react. So, he sees the Jewish people are being chased by the Egyptians, therefore the sea has to split. On the day of creation, when he created the sea, he made a condition with the sea. You are going to lie flat until such a time as the Jewish people need you to stand up straight. I know normally in water you lie flat, but it's on condition that on the one time that the Jewish people are going to need you to stand up straight like a solid wall, you're going to do that. So it's not that he's reacting to events as they're transpiring. He's built that into nature. It's actually not miraculous. It's exactly the same as when water lies flat the rest of the time. So when the women got to the sea and they see that it's there in front of them and the Egyptians are behind them, they weren't blown away by the sea splitting. They were expecting it. They knew they were going to be saved. They've been planning for this for years. They carried on having children. They carried on leading a Jewish life because they knew that this wasn't it. They knew that Hashem had planned a future for them and that they were going to be there to experience it. So when they got to the sea and it split, they're like, okay, so that's how he did it. Okay. We knew he was going to save us in some way. So he split the sea. That's very nice. And then when they see that all the Egyptians got drowned, that was an added bonus. They're like, okay, that's actually quite impressive. Let's sing a shira about that. And they celebrate it. So for all us women and women throughout history, we plan and we anticipate miracles. Not only that, we deserve them. Often they are in our zuchus. So I think we should get planning. It's nearly Purim, it's nearly Pesach, and odds are Hashem's going to save us again. It's not difficult. It's easy. He's planned it already. It's going to happen. It's going to happen at some point. So why not in a couple of weeks? Why not for Purim? Why not for Pesach? Why not plan a big Seder for your whole family and anticipate that this will all be over and that will turn around and say, Hashem saved us again. We knew it was going to happen. We didn't know exactly when or exactly how, but we saw it coming and we planned accordingly. So hang in there. Let's hope it all happens very soon, very quickly. And in the meantime, keep safe, keep well, have a good Shabbos.